Tonight on the HPT, we're at Belterra Casino Resort in Florence, Indiana, where a field of 346 entrants generated a prize pool of over $300,000. Our ninth place finisher is retired ship captain and four-time HPT final tableist Robert Castoir. With an overpair to the board, Robert and his pocket nines re-raised all in against Scott Poling and his set of eights, and was called. With only 2 outs in the deck, the river was a blank, and Robert was sent sailing with just under $8,000. Going out in 8th place and playing in only his second HPT event ever was Lima, Ohio native Nick DePalma. Things were looking good for Nick with top pair and jack kicker. It looked even better for Scott, who once again outflopped his opponent with 2 pair. Check, bet, all in. Scott called. Nick needed a jack on the river, but it wasn't meant to be. He went home with just over $9,000. And finally, in 7th place, hailing from Florence, Alabama, was Nathan Willis. Facing a pre-flop raise from Dale Robinson, Nathan shoved all in with his ace-queen from the small blind and was called by Dale's pocket sixes. The good news, it's a coin flip. The bad news, Nathan didn't improve. He walked away with just over $11,000. All right, folks, we have 6 players left and a whole lot of cash to give away, and it all starts right now on the HPT. Hi, everybody. It's James Larson alongside Ken and James, and welcome to the HPT. This week we're in Florence, Indiana, here at the Belterra Casino, where up top our champion will go home with just over $75,000.
Yeah, we have 6 players ready to compete for that first place prize, the title, the championship. I'm excited to be here and watch this final table action play out.
Little different format this week. We did an $1,100 buy-in. We had 340 entries, and 1 player will leave as our HPT champion. That person will go home with the bracelet, the bragging rights, and the title. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and meet the final 6 and take a look at the prize pool.
First place, gonna 75 times their investment, 75,000 on down to 6, just a little over 13,000.
We've been coming here to the Belterra Casino Resort for years, and it's great to be back. Scott's up top with 56 bigs, followed by Mike and Al. Rounding out the bottom of the list is Larry. He's going to need to get some work done to get back into this nationally televised final table right here on the HPT.
Yeah, like you say, Larry's sitting on only 10 big blinds. These gray chips, ladies and gentlemen at home, they're worth 5,000 a piece, so a stack of those about 100,000. The gray, or the blue rather, are 25,000 a piece. As you see Dale grab a fistful and raise it up to 180,000.
We started with 346, and now we are down to our final 6 players. Like Kenneth said, Dale raises to 180,000.
So a stack of those blue, the players tend to stack them in stacks of 20, a $500,000 a piece. A stack of gray worth 100,000.
Over to Al. He's going to fold. Now Scott looks down at 7-4. He gets out of the way. To the 9 seat we go now. And Larry looks down at Queen 8. It's in the big blind.
Well, with a lot of these players being on the short stack, you would think it'd be an aggressive play, but remember, these players move up in money in the prize pool. It starts to get big pay jumps, so there might be a little tight play early.
We're here in Florence, Indiana, which is only about an hour from Louisville. That's where I flew in. And Cincinnati, Ohio, not very far away, too. So right in the middle of a couple of big cities, and always brings out some great action here at the Belterra Casino Resort. Bruce with King, Queen of Hearts now. Love the hat, Bruce. Love the HPT patch, and I love the hat.
Yeah, and he loves his hand as he's going to raise it up here.
Going to go up to 210,000. Now over to Mike, looks down at King Jack. Some more royalty cards here.
Yeah, this is good. This could get really interesting. Does Michael call or raise a margin? No, he finds the muck. And those are good folds when you're playing shorthanded on a final table, to find the muck with those hands where you could get into trouble.
All right, so now action. Over to Larry. Now he looks down at pocket nines. He's probably not going to go anywhere.
No, this hand's too big to get away from in this situation. And remember, like I said, he's our short stack. I expect him to get all in here.
And now Larry is going to go all in. He's 70 years old. He's retired.
Not retired from poker, though. It's great to see all ages come out and compete here on the HPT. We've seen the young guns. Now we see Larry here at 70 years old competing for his first HPT title.
And now action over to Bruce, the original raiser here. And he's going to make the call. He likes his hand. He makes the call. He's going to see he is behind in the hand, but he's got a couple of big overcards to the pocket nines of Larry.
Yeah, this is going to be a race. We go to the flop.
And the flop is 9-7-5, but they're all hearts.
Wow.
So Larry flops a set and Bruce flops a flush. Unbelievable.
Larry's going to need the board to pair to fill up here.
Turn card now is the queen of diamonds. So Bruce still in the lead with his flop flush here. Larry needs to pair the board or hit another 9, or he will be eliminated.
To the river we go.
And it's the 4 of spades. And just like that, look at Larry. All I wanted to do was flop a set. Well, wait, I did flop a set, and I was behind after I flopped a set. 6th place money, $13,142. Better luck next time, my friend.
Let's get you some money.
Welcome back to Florence, Indiana, here at the Belterra Casino Resort. It's James Larson alongside Kenneth James, and 5 players remain, all hoping to be our next HPT champion. Up top, Kenna, $75,571.
A lot to play for out there for these guys. And it's wonderful to make it this far. You know, people forget when they tune in, they watch a final table, what these players have already been through to get to this point.
Yes, several days of grinding, 11, 12, 13-hour days. And then, you know, on the night before the final table, well, nobody sleeps because we play late into the early morning sometimes. And then, man, all the anxiety and the TV cameras and all the things that go along with that. So these guys, you know, they've got to be whipped, and that's why it's good to be in good physical and mental shape. As we go to the flop, it's king, queen, jack. So both players getting a piece of that. Bruce hitting his king, and Michael flopping a queen and a jack.
Yeah, 2 pair on a wet board. This is actually a lot more complicated hand than it looks like because of the texture of the board. It's flushing, it's straighting. So Michael's 2 pair, which is normally really big, kind of shrinks up on a board like this, and that's why he just elects to call.
$135,000 and the call. Pot of almost 500,000 chips in there. And we go to the turn card. It's the 4 of hearts.
Interesting now, Bruce senses, that he might not have the best hand here. But it's going to be tough. Even if his opponent bets here, it's going to be tough to get away because there's straight draws, there's flush draws that he's ahead with his king. So I expect this to go check, bet, call. And he doesn't call.
It's
he
a raise
raises.
now to $500,000.
See, now this puzzles me, James. I'm not sure if he's raising on a bluff here or if he thinks in his own mind that he's raising for value.
Michael makes the call.
Well,
huge pot forming here in Florence, Indiana.
As I said, on this flop, this could get very tricky because of the texture of the board, and that's exactly what's happened.
River card is the 7 of spades, and now Bruce is going all in.
Wow. This is flat-out aggression at its finest. Look at, and he's hidden down underneath his hat.
All right, Mike's gonna fold here.
Wow, Michael's going to lay it down.
Lay down a monster, he says, and he's right. And they say aggression wins in poker. There's a prime example of it right there.
Talk about aggression. This guy in life was very aggressive. As a matter of fact, he beat cancer back in 2012. He was diagnosed with cancer. He came back strong, and he went and ran his 50th triathlon after that. So, hey, kudos to Bruce. He's a fighter, and now he's at this HPT final table.
And not only a fighter, but a survivor. You got to be able to do both to become an HPT champion. So he definitely has what it takes. Let's see if it plays out that way as he raises it up now with ace-king, making it $225,000 to go. 2.25, that's about our standard.
Now over to Mike, looks down at ace 8-4. He just laid down a monster, as he says, to quote Mikey in that last hand, laid down 2 pair.
Ironically, it was Queen Jack, which is exactly
The hand
what
that
Al
Al
has
has,
right
right.
now. So he makes the call. He's going to try and get in the same kind of trouble.
And Scott is going to fold out of the small blind. Now we move over to Dale in the big. Looks down at ace 9. Probably see a defend here, Kenna.
You could even see a squeeze, or he could find the muck. This is the beauty of poker. All 3 options are on the table. Let's see which one he takes.
Looks like he's going to make the call, so 3 players to the flop now.
So Dale taking the most passive of the 3. People think folding is the most passive play. It's actually more aggressive than calling because you're folding your way out of trouble.
The flop is ace 10-7, couple of clubs.
See, Dale didn't fold his way out of trouble. He found it because now he's flopped top pair with a worse kicker.
So Dale checks. Now over to Bruce with the continuation bet here with the best of it with the ace-king.
Yeah. And remember, last time he was aggressive and he had the worst hand. This time he's being aggressive with the best hand, and the players didn't get to see his cards. So from their point of view, they just see an aggressive guy. And so that's why Dale will probably stick here and defend with his ace-9.
And now Dale back in this predicament, if you will. He flops an ace but doesn't have a very good kicker. And now he makes the call.
Relegated to calling once again, not knowing where he's at and kind of guessing where his opponent is at. Not a good position to be in as a player.
Turn card now is the king of hearts, so Bruce's hand just got better. 2 pair now, aces and kings. And Dale's first to act, and his hand continues to get worse.
Yeah, well, actually, oh, yep, this is an all-in. All-in by Bruce. I think I would have preferred a value bet here, but maybe he's trying to sell a flush draw, to his opponent and try and get called. But I think he got a little bit too greedy here. We know we've said that before, where your hand gets so big and you get excited and you make too big of a bet and don't get enough value for your best hand.
So Bruce is going to win that pot. He's 62 years old. He's an attorney from Indianapolis, Indiana. Total career winnings, just $15,000. His plans for the prize money, to play the WSOP main event. Everybody's dream to take that thing down. And this year, I think it's at right around $8 million. So
yeah, so this would be a nice stepping stone. Look at this, 5th place. Even if he were to go out next, it's greater than his total career earnings. So good job for him. It's great to have him here.
We had 346 entries, a prize pool of over $330,000, and now we are down to our final 5. And now Scott with pocket jacks is going to raise it up to $400,000.
Well, now this is a 4x raise with the blinds at 50 and 100,000 and a 10K ante.
And now Dale said he's all in, not really steaming from the last hand, but still a little just kind of like, maybe I didn't need to get involved in that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's what his thoughts are, but here his hand dictates an all in.
Sure, yeah.
So he's got 9s. But yeah, he's dodging when he should, or ditching or dodging. I'm not sure which is which, but
one of the two.
He's
exactly.
zigging and zagging at the wrong time.
So now he's way behind in this one. Jack's going up against 9s in the flop, a couple of trays and a 5. So 2 more streets here for Dale to improve, or he will be eliminated in 5th place.
Yeah, the turn card is a 5. And the way this hand is played out, even if he had just called pre-flop, it looks like there's no way he's going to get away from this hand.
Absolutely.
He needs a 9 on the river, or he is out.
And the river card is the deuce of diamonds, and that's going to do it for Dale Robinson. He will leave us in 5th place, and he'll take home $16,757. And when we come back from this quick commercial break, your final 4 will play it out. Welcome back to the Belterra Casino here in Florence, Indiana. James Larson alongside Ken and James. Always great to be back in this part of the country. Great people, and I want to thank the awesome dealers that we had here all this week. I don't think I saw one missed deal.
I don't know about that, but the dealers never get enough credit, I tell you. And being a former dealer, I started out as a dealer. It's great to have these guys pitching cards for us. How about Bruce now? Keeping the foot on the gas. He's got ace-queen. He's going to raise it up to $225,000.
Well, you don't see his face a lot. He kind of hides behind that hat, and I like it. He keeps his head down. It's hard to get a read on Bruce.
Yeah, he's definitely got the poker valence.
Boy, pocket 9s again. We saw a lot of pocket 9s on last week's show. We're seeing them again tonight. But on the last hand, they weren't so lucky for our friend Dale.
Here now, this is probably going to be a race situation, as I expect Bruce to call.
And that is going to happen. So Al in the lead with his pocket 9s going up against 2 overcards for Bruce. Ace-queen going up against 9-9. A pot of 2.2 million chips. Can we go to the flop? And it's 10-7-6.
Well, Al's still in the lead. A 3-1 favorite. He's already got the best hand with 9s.
Turn card is the deuce of hearts. The 9 still in the lead, and Al has a gutter ball straight draw as well. So everything going his way right now, 85-15. That's the percentages. We go to the river card, and it's an 8. So Al is going to make the straight and win the hand.
Thank you.
And a big double up there for Al.
Yeah, he leans over to his table mate, and thank goodness, he says. He's representing HPT well there with a sweatshirt and the patch. Nice to see these players coming out and representing our tour and doing well.
All right, the action continues. Blinds are 50,000, 100,000 with a 10K ante. Over to Mike now with pocket ducks.
With his stack, I don't see him doing anything but moving all in here.
Yeah, these are probably going to get in the middle. And he is going to do just that. Mike's going to go all in now. Action over to Al. Al's got the HPT shirt, like we said, and the patch. He's doubling up today. Looks down at Queen 9. He's going to fold his hand. And now over to Scott with a junky Jack 4. He's not going to play that. And let's see if Bruce can pick up something. King and 9. King 9 of hearts.
Well, now with his stack size, he's got to consider, because this is really, not much more for him to call. But he finds the muck.
So Michael is going to win this hand. He's got over 80,000 in live career earnings.
Thank you.
And his plans for the cash?
Rent a rail.
Going to buy his family
There's a
some stuff
business.
and pay a few bills.
It's nice, responsible.
Yeah, why not? What would you do with $75,571? Besides, take me out for a steak dinner.
I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
All right, over to Al now. Looks down at King 9. Reaching for chips. And he's going to raise it up to 225,000. And now over to Scott. Looks down at 7-6. He's going to get out of the way.
All right, so I thought about it. I'm going to take my girl on a long cruise, an HPT cruise.
I like it. I was going to give you that idea. All the information at hptpoker.com. Bruce makes the call with ace-10. And Michael now with 9-8 of clubs.
This is, a tough spot for Michael. He's got a good-looking hand, but every hand he plays is a big portion of his chips, so he's going to be begging for a flop here.
All right, we go to the flop, and it's Jack 6-5. So that gives Michael a gutter ball draw. Bruce checks over to Mike.
He could semi-bluff here, even though he's only got 4 outs in his mind to the straight, and move his chips in, and it would probably work as we could see it here. But obviously he doesn't know that, so it gets checked around.
Turn card now is the tray of hearts.
Now this is interesting. Now he's experienced a second check from his opponent.
Bruce checks, as does Michael. Now over to Al. Al says, no more checking. I'm going to put some chips in the middle.
Yeah, so this is leveraging your position. You got to take advantage of your position, and when your opponents check twice to you, even sometimes when you don't have anything, you're going to have to make a bet. And sure enough, it's going to win him the pot. Well played by Al there.
Yeah, Michael's going to fold. Al is going to win the hand. Get some clapping from the studio audience there. Good to see that. But yeah, it's been a great week out here in Florence, Indiana. Always fun. It was a little cold this week to play the golf course. But when we come back, I promise we'll do that. But this is just one of those stops that's it's very laid back. I like that it's an $1,100 event. It gives some of our more amateur players to come out and give it a shot. So if you want to join us on the road, you can check out our webpage at hptpoker.com.
And now it's Bruce with the 9-8 suited. But he has the button. Looks like he's getting out some raising chips. Here's interesting. Do you know it's more likely to get dealt aces than a suited connectors?
Wow, I didn't know that, Kenna. This is why we have you on the show, my friend.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, in specific, of course, to like a hand like this, like 9-8 suited.
All right, so Bruce is going to raise with his 9-8. Al makes the call here with 10-9. And now we're heads up to the flop. And the flop is King 9-8, couple of hearts.
Now look at this. Wow. everything kind of going Bruce's way right now, as he not only has position, he has the hand, and he's going to bet it.
And Al catches a piece of that. He catches the 9, but you're right, Bruce, with 2 pair here on the flop. And the bet is $320,000. And Al, he's going to hang around. He's going to make the call.
He's going to get sticky because there's a lot of hands. Like I say, he beats here. He beats flush draws. He beats straight draws. He's losing to king, obviously.
All right, we go to the turn card. It's the 4 of clubs. And Al's going to check. And now Bruce says, I'm all in. Doesn't look him in the eye. The head's down. The fedora's on, and he's all in.
Well, now Bruce maybe
Good bet.
not getting enough value for his hand here, but perhaps he's scared of the flush draw. The heart's out there, and he just wants to take home the pot. And if that was his purpose, he's successfully accomplished it as he drags home another one.
4 players left. Plenty of action coming up after these messages. Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson alongside Kenneth James here at the Belterra Casino Resort in beautiful Florence, Indiana. 4 players remain up top on this week's episode, $75,571.
And very important to note, nearly a $10,000 difference between the next one out and third place.
Little different kind of show this week with the $1,100 buy-in. Different format for this tournament and levels and times and all that. So it's kind of fun to mix it up a little, Kenna.
Yeah, it really is. That means the players are coming to this final table a lot more short stacked than they normally do in our $1,600 buy-in events. And that's going to press the action, as you see right here. Michael getting it all in with ace-5. Al makes the call with pocket 7s. Walking sticks, we call them.
Walking sticks, and Al is in the lead with his pocket 7s. Michael is going to need to catch up or he will be eliminated going out in 4th place. But he says, just this one time. Just this one time. Hook me up with an ace. The flop is queen 9-6. No ace or 5, so the 7's still in the lead. Pot of over 1.3 million chips. We go to the turn card, and that's the 7 of clubs, and that is the dagger right there. But an 8. There could be an 8 for the
Yeah, so
straight.
not quite the dagger. The dagger's
Just-
pulled out.
Just
It's pulled
when
out
I
of the bank.
thought it was over.
An 8.
And that's an 8. Oh my. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen. I had Michael.
Look at even the audience is throwing their hands up.
I had Michael all but gone. And
Just
the
shows
8.
you. In poker, it's the turn of a card. Anything can happen.
Boy, that's the worst feeling for Al there, getting rivered like that ahead the entire way, and bam, the 8 hits on the river, giving Mike some new hope here at this final table. Looks down at Jack 4.
Yeah. It's the key double up. You know, it's so hard to bust the short stack. We see it time and time again here on the final table in these pay jumps as it gets more and more important the closer you get to first. Remember, these players have survived day after day to make it to this point. And getting anybody out is like I like to say, removing an abscess tooth with a spoon.
Al's going to raise it up to $250,000 here.
Have you ever tried that?
I've never tried it, and I never will.
Not easy to do.
Scott's going to fold, and now Bruce with the pocket trays. The little guy's here going for a little set mining. He's going to go ahead and make the call.
Going to be heads up. To the flop. Let's see the flop.
We can hear our tournament director, Jeremy, in the background saying we're going to take the flop heads up, and he correctly.
Bruce checks over to Al.
All right, the flop is 10-9 deuce. Couple of diamonds. Bruce is going to check over to Al. Bruce with the best of it here with his pocket pair.
You know, that's what's tough, though, about these small pocket pairs. They can be tough to play because when you have a player, an aggressive player like Al, move all in here, is usually overcards on the
Wow.
flop, and it makes it tough to continue.
Al moves all in. He's going to win the pot. We continue to be four-handed here in Florence, Indiana, the Belterra Casino Resort. Great to have everybody with us here on the HPT. And if you think you have what it takes to play right here on the national level, why not give it a shot? Log on to hptpoker.com, and who knows, maybe you'll be going home with the unreal cash.
Going to be real to these guys?
Real.
Can you have a double real?
Yeah, it's real squared. Come on, forget about it.
It's reality.
Over to Mikey with 10-4 now. Just hasn't had a whole lot of great cards to play. His facial expressions kind of say it all there. He really wears his emotions on his sleeve.
Yeah, he looks pensive sitting
He
there.
sure does. Now over to Al, who's cool as a cucumber. He's going to make the call with Jack 6.
You know, I really prefer a raise from the small blind here. If you're going to play a hand like this, just try and take it right there.
All right, let's go to the flop now. It comes out 8-5 deuce, all clubs. Good flop there for Scott. He flops 2 pair. Al's the only one with a club in his hand.
So looks like now Al is going to make some kind of a semi-bluff with a 6-high flush draw here. See, I would have preferred he do this pre-flop, and you're probably just going to get the 8 deuce to fold, but now he's going to find himself in trouble. As Scott, is he going to call or is he going to raise? It looks like he's just going to make the call.
So the bet is $150,000. Scott makes the call. We go to the turn card now.
And if you look at each player's body posture, look at Al. He's got the 1 arm across the chest versus Scott has got the 2 arms across the chest.
3 of spades comes on the turn. Al checks. That's true. That's a good call there. Good catch.
It's the new poker posture. The cross arms across the chest. It's kind of like a protective shield, perhaps.
Scott with the best of it right here with the 8s is going to bet $400,000. It's got to be a tough call here for Al.
Yeah, I don't expect. Well, he's got, he also picked up a gutter ball. You notice a 4 would make him a straight, but this pot got away from him. I think he could have won this pot simply with a raise pre-flop or just muck and give up the pot.
So your winner tonight will be our newest HPT champion, of course, $75,571, and the HPT winning bracelet, that champion's bracelet that everybody wants to have. So pocket 8s here for Al. A little better hand than last hand.
A lot better than Jack 6. Believe me, he's now just considering how much am I going to bring this in for. The average right now is probably going to be about 260.
Al's going to raise to $250,000, so right around that range you were talking about. Scott here with a fun little suited connector, but not good enough to play here. He folds his 5-4 of hearts. And now Bruce wakes up with a good hand here, ace-10 of hearts.
Yeah, now he's got an option to just call for value or re-raise. And knowing Bruce, he really attacks it. He goes after it and really fights for the lead. I like that about his game, and he's doing the same thing here with his ace-10 suited.
Poor Michael here kind of closed his eyes before he looked at his hand and slowly peeled over the old 7 deuce.
Yeah, well, it's also his short stack. You see, he's on the short stack, so every hand is pressure.
Waiting to pick something up.
Look at an all-in and a call, and we're off to the races. And now, all of a sudden, Michael seems very interested in the outcome of this hand because he could gain $10,000 just sitting on the sidelines.
Sitting there with his arms crossed. All right, let's go to the flop here. And it comes out 2 queens and a tray, 2 spades.
Low, or an 8. An 8.
Al says low, or an 8. And look at Bruce, just calm and cool. There's the 10 of clubs.
My.
Bruce now goes in the lead. And Al doesn't like this at all.
Bruce very calm.
The river card is the 9 of hearts, and just like that, Al can't believe it. He's been eliminated, going out in 4th place, $22,342. It's not always the river that gets you. This time it was the turn.
But I wasn't the one.
3 players remain here in Florence, Indiana at the Belterra Casino Resort. It's James Larson alongside Kenna James.
And we look at the chip counts. Mike Weber at the bottom with just 6 big blinds. He's on fumes. He's going to have to get lucky here to stay in this tournament. But I got to tell you, he is thankful that in that last hand he made $10,000 just by sitting back and watching the action.
And he's got a few chips and a chair, so Mike's still very much alive at this HPT final table. I love the look on his face. Queen deuce. Can't play that, Mikey.
Yeah, he could.
You could, couldn't he?
Queen high with 6 big blinds.
All in. He is going to play it.
Yeah, there you go.
He is going to play it. Of course he's going to play it. Now over to Scott, who's got queen 7.
This might be is he going to call him?
And now Bruce is saying, call him, so I can fold, and I can make $15,000.
See, when you're on the short stack, the most important thing is to have initiative, be the first one in the pot, and that's what wins the pot for him right here, having the initiative, being the first one in and not just calling.
Michael Weber, you can't get rid of this guy. He just keeps hanging around.
Yep, he's surviving. He's hanging in there.
Mike is 40 years old. He's got 80,000 plus in total career winnings. Played our event in Chicago. He's got one bullet in this event, just $1,100. So this will be a nice little return on his investment. He's going to get rid of the 10-8 on the button.
He's praying that the two big chip stacks get involved because remember now it's a $15,000 pay jump between third and second. Sometimes if you just hang around and survive, you make a lot of money.
Well, he could actually make a total of about $25,000 by doing that because he's just made $10,000 by going from fourth to third. So don't count out Mikey yet. It's kind of fun to watch him here as he's looking at his cards, getting ready to see what is going to be the hand to go all in at. Scott likes this here, pocket tens.
Absolutely.
So he'll raise this hand up on the button, three-handed.
Just about how much is the key? I'm guessing, again, about a 250, 260.
And, you know, you talk about the money up top, Ken, at the 75, 47, and 30. For an $1,100 buy-in, this is a great little prize pool here at Belterra.
Absolutely. It's a nice find, you know. Find a little golden nugget there. Believe me, anybody watching this show, 75,000.
Absolutely.
Including myself. That's a nice little payday.
As a wise man once told me, that buys a whole lot of cheeseburgers. Let me tell you that.
For less than a week's work, by the way.
Right. Blinds are 60,000, 120,000 with a 15K ante. It's the James gang with you here. James Larson alongside Kenneth James.
Always good to be saddled up next to you, buddy.
So much fun here on the HPT. And once again, thanks to our awesome crew for the great sights and sounds here from Florence, Indiana. All right, Bruce on the button looks down at ace deuce.
Three-handed, you know, ace is any ace is going to be a big hand. Obviously, any pair, any Broadway, probably any suited hand 8 and above as your kicker.
Well, here we go, Mikey.
And there it is right there. Speaking of it, and that's why he's going to go with it. He realizes three-handed, this is a very reasonable hand, so he's going to make his stand.
So it's 430,000 for Bruce to make this call.
I call.
He said, I screw up, but I'll make the call. He does make the call.
You're ahead.
And Bruce is going to see that he's in the lead.
Yeah, he's got about a 10%, 11% edge here in this hand.
All right, well, we go to the flop, and it's good to see Michael is smiling.
Yeah.
He's behind, but he's smiling. And the flop, triple sevens.
Wow. He's got hope. He still needs a king or an 8 on the turn or to the river to stay in this tournament. To the turn we go.
And it's the ace of spades, so that makes a full house for Bruce. All Michael can do is chop it.
With one card and one card only.
It's not looking very good.
The 7 of clubs.
We go to the river card. And it's the 5 of hearts on the river, so that'll do it for Michael Weber. He'll go home with just over $32,000. And Kenna, you got to say, it had to be a pretty fun ride for him. He's smiling, and he'll smile all the way to the cage.
You'd be happy too, James. This guy is taking home over $32,000 for his third place finish. Congratulations.
And when we come back, it's my favorite part of the show. It's Heads Up Poker. We got Bruce, we got Scott. Who's going to be our next champion? Stick around and you'll find out. Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson alongside Kenneth James here in Florence, Indiana at the Belterra Casino Resort.
And we're heads up, playing for a difference of nearly $30,000.
It's Bruce and it's Scott. I like to see that Scott put on the jacket here, but of course, he still has the HPT patch, so thank you for wearing that, my friend.
Absolutely. He now just limps with pocket threes on the button. This is non-standard. I'm not sure what he's trying to do here. Maybe he's going to try and trap his opponent if he makes a set.
Flop comes out 10-8-5. Not a good flop there for Scotty as Bruce flops 2 pair.
Yeah, now Bruce would be well off checking this, inducing his opponent to make a bluff, but both players confounding me here with their actions as Scott just limps on the button, and now he's going to raise when he has the worst hand.
Well, he's kind of playing this hand backwards, Ken.
Yeah. Well, when you get creative, this is, and to be fair, I've done this myself many times.
Wow, and now Bruce is all in, so.
So Scott here, what ended up happening is he tried to take a creative line with his hand, which is limp in the pot and then try to represent strength when you actually don't have much.
And it's not a bad idea until your opponent flops 2 pairs.
Yeah, some ideas work and some ideas don't.
Scott, by the way, is 43 years old. He's from Findlay, Ohio. He's in the banking business. He's actually a mortgage loan officer. So maybe we can talk to him after the show and
You get a loan?
Get your bungalow upgraded over there in Las Vegas. All right.
I like it.
Over now to Scott. He looks down at King Queen. Great hand here, heads up on the HPT.
Yeah, now he should raise here on the button.
Gonna make the call option.
Is he just going to flat again?
Just going to make the call here.
Interesting. Wow. So, I mean, heads up play. Players have different styles, but just continuing to flat on the button, I don't think is a profitable long run strategy.
Let's go to the flop. Comes out ace, king, 10, couple of hearts.
Now, Bruce, I like this bet actually. See, even though we see he has 6 high,
Yeah.
he really has no value in this hand. So he's going to make a bluff bet, and if he gets called, he's probably going to be done with the hand. And we know he's going to at least get called because Scott is sitting with 2nd pair and a gut shot straight draw.
So the bet was 400,000. Scott just makes the call. Pot of over 1.1 million chips. We go to the turn card now. It's the 6 of clubs.
And Bruce rightly shuts down.
Bruce checks over to Scott.
Scott could bet or check here. Standard would be to check, and he does.
River card now is the 5 of hearts. So 2 pair now for Bruce. Just like that. 2 pair. And go back to the earlier streets here.
Yeah, well, now Bruce's bluff, right, becomes profitable through the defensive play of his opponent. And now is betting for value. So
And now Scott is going to make the call, and Bruce is going to win the hand.
confusing play.
Good hand.
Shows king, queen for
Once
one pair.
again, maybe a
Bruce
raise
got 2
pre-flop
pairs,
wins this.
twos and fives.
Both players taking confusing, creative lines early on in this heads-up play.
Now, looking at Scott's resume here, it's his 4th HPT event, his first cash, and he was 2 from the money at the last HPT tournament. So you have to wonder sometimes, how many times have these guys actually played heads-up poker, if ever, Kenna?
Well, who knows, but they're in it now. And it's tough to know unless we see a really lengthy match, like, if this is their standard lines or if they're trying to be creative.
All in.
And now Scott's going to move all in.
And this time, now he's moving in with 9 high. So you're right. It's kind of backwards strategy here.
And Bruce is going to make the call, and this thing could be over on this hand. Scott, a dog here to Bruce's ace-jack.
He's still got 40% equity as we go to the flop.
And right in the window is
Look
a
at
9. It
that.
comes out king 9-7. 2 pair for Scott, so he's looking good now.
Really good.
Bruce says he's drawing dead, but he's not. That's one of the cards that can help him, the queen of hearts.
Yeah, he needs a 10 to improve to a straight.
If not, Scott will double up.
$3.5 million pot going Scott's way here.
Wow, and the river card is the deuce of hearts. So finally some good news there for Scott. Maybe didn't play that perfectly, but in the end it didn't really matter when he made 2 pair after the flop.
Well, now that Scott is doubled up, let's see if play becomes a little bit more standardized or if these players are going to stay with their creative lines. Here we'll get a feel for it.
Ace-9 for Bruce.
Again, the standard would be to raise to maybe 500,000, 450.
And he's going to go up to 475,000. Over to Scott that looks down at Jack-7.
Standard would be to fold. Scott, though, he may call or 3-bet
He
here.
plays it a little backwards. He's going to make the call here. 275 for him to complete the bet. And we go to the
and
flop.
the reason I say that is because he's out of position. He's out chipped. I would just look for a better spot than trying to defend with Jack-7 out of position in this spot.
Flop is 2 8s and a 5. Scott's going to check. Bruce puts out a big bet, 600,000. That should be enough to get Scott to go away.
But Scott has got other plans. His creativity, he now is looking to call and set up some kind of float out of position, and no matter what comes on the turn, he's probably going to make a play at this pot.
Well, that is a good card for him. That's the 6 of hearts, so he's got an open-ended straight draw and a flush draw. He's going to go all in, and Bruce quickly folds. So that time his creative play pays off, and he drags the pot. And when we come back after this commercial break, the action will continue. You're watching the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson alongside Kenneth James, broadcasting here in Florence, Indiana at the Belterra Casino Resort. And we still have our final 2 players. It's anybody's game, but up top, $75,571.
Don't forget the bracelet.
Yeah.
The bragging rights. Scott back in action now, really taking it to Bruce. He's going to raise it up here with Queen 7.
It's going to raise to $650,000. And I think Bruce is thinking, I can't really figure this guy out because he's playing a very unique heads-up strategy.
Yeah, just limping on the button. And now he was limping with the best hand. Now he's raising with the worst of it. Actually, he's got the best of it. He's got Queen 7.
He does have the best of it.
But
he's got the
compared to those other hands,
Sure,
it was far the worst of it.
All right, we go to the flop now. Queen, Jack, Deuce. So good news there for Bruce. This could sting a little bit for Scotty.
Absolutely. Both players here connecting with this flop.
Heads up, it is such a big deal to flop top pair.
Great point. Absolutely.
And Scott probably thinks that he's good here as he puts out the bet of $625,000. Now, does Bruce raise here or just flat this?
I like raising and representing like you have a flush draw and trying to get all the money into the pot. And it looks like that's what he's going to do.
He announced $1.5 million. If you're wondering, he was kind of pushing those chips in, those stacks one at a time, Kenneth, but he did make the announcement to the dealer, and now the call has been made here by Scott.
Yeah, this is the problem, is there's straight draws, there's flush draws, all in Bruce's range. So Scott thinks his top pair may be good here.
Turn card now is the 7 of diamonds. But now look, Bruce does have the lone diamond there, the deuce of diamonds, and it's an all-in and a call.
And it's that quick.
And Bruce doesn't like it.
No,
but he's not dead.
Yeah, he's not. He's survived this off the felt. Now he's got to survive it on the diamond.
A diamond on the end.
Look at this.
The 5 of diamonds.
Oh,
Bruce wins the hand.
This guy is a survivor, I'm telling you.
He survived cancer, and now he survived the all-in on the river and catches a diamond.
Only a diamond was going to save him, or a deuce, but he caught the diamond, and we're right back at it. Look at this. Wow. Blinds now 150, 300,000, 40K ante.
And now is when Bruce should really step on the gas.
Well, yeah, his opponent is short stacked, absolutely. You got to finish him off. You got to
finish him off, man. And you got the ace-jack. Raise it up.
Well, he's going to elect to try and trap his opponent, and I don't blame him here. He just limps on the button, trying to get his opponent to shove or elicit a bluff should he catch a good flop.
We go to the flop. It's Queen, Jack, 7. So,
and it's exactly the situation I'm talking about. See, he elicits the bluff, the shove. He's going to call him, and his opponent's going to be in really bad shape.
Wow, Scott is in really bad shape. Like you said, Kenna, this could be it here at the Belterra Casino Resort in Florence, Indiana. We go to the turn card. It's the 10 of hearts, and that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. It is over. We have a brand new champion. Bruce is going to go home with $75,571 and the title and the bracelet. Congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, Scott, he really played his final table well. You know what? You never really fully satisfied and happy with second place, but $48,000 goes a long way to soothing those wounds.
You better believe it, Kenna. And now let's hear what Scott has to say. He's out at the table side.
Yeah, it was great. You guys have been great. Heartland Poker Tour, it's fantastic. If you haven't played an event, get out to your local casino where they're hosting an event. Fantastic time. Yeah, I played well. Like I said, no regrets. Wouldn't play any hand over. I'll take second place any day of the week. Congrats to Bruce. He played well. and that's just how it goes.
Thanks so much, Scott, and once again, congratulations on second place. But tonight, our champion, his name is Bruce, going home with the cash and the title.
Yeah, his hat's off. He's in the audience, you know, celebrating his win. I'm excited to hear what he has to say about his performance tonight.
Let's do that right now. He's joined with our tournament director, Jeremy Smith, and it's time for our championship interview.
My strategy was to not embarrass myself. Yeah, actually, I did quite a lot of bluffing today because I really wasn't picking up much in the way of cards. So I feel pretty good about how I played. But it was a grind. This is the first time I've ever been in a tournament of this size, and first time I've ever gotten to the final table, and it's quite a thrill.
He's a cancer survivor. He made it through a field of over 340 entries. Our last man standing is Bruce. Once again, congratulations.
Absolutely. Not only a winner tonight, but a winner in life.
Try to join us here on the HPT. We crisscross all over this great nation. All you have to do is log on to hptpoker.com, and you might be playing for the Unreal Cash right here on national television. For Kenneth James, I'm James Larson, and we'll see you next time right here on the HPT.